Thank you for joining us here for Game 5, Team Liquid versus Clutch Gaming. Unsurprisingly, we have gone the distance and the community is popping off about that fact.
Are you sure?
How do you know the community? That doesn't look like a pop-off.
Are you well, you better be part of the community, Jet. Start popping off.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Clutch Gaming proved never long. That's the community popping off. I was like, what's that coming from? I just have loved the adaptation in this series. The fact that Huni feels like he's kind of having a resurgence during this game. And also just whenever you're going into a series and you feel like what is on paper is a sure thing, it's just never that way, Captain Flowers. That's how the LCS ends up happening. And I think Clutch had that mindset coming in, which is so key. They weren't going to roll over and die, especially after game one. They knew that there was a way they could win this series. There was a path forward, and they found 2/3 of that path with 2 wins.
We even saw that in game one, the game where they were down the furthest at the start of the game. They just went in nonetheless.
There is a reason that everyone is popping off. That's because everyone loves underdog stories. And this is the best example of that. Team Liquid, back-to-back-to-back defending champions here, are on the ropes by Clutch Gaming, who struggled from the bottom of the lineup from an entire summer split, basically, and have stormed back onto the stage with an explosive style that people can really get behind.
And I think so much of this final game will come down to how the teams adapt in the draft. As I said at the end of game 4, both the times we saw Clutch take the win, they were on picks that we recognized them for. DeMonte's Kiana popping off in game 2. Game number 4, it's Huni on Rumble. It's Lyra on Skarner. Can Team Liquid take away all these different core picks that Clutch Gaming are using to find wins?
Yeah, and the analyst desk had some opinions on this. I would agree that I'd like to see Kiana and Rumble show up for TL's blue side bans. Akali is something that TL have first picked this entire series when they're on blue side, and I would say Clutch should drop the Sona ban. I think specifically most of the league has dropped that ban. Most of the world has stopped playing it. Even though Doublelift and CoreJJ have won on that pick, it's not something that Doublelift can directly carry a game on. So if they can actually get him off of an 80 carry in game 5, that will be beneficial, which makes me think they wouldn't even pick it if they drop it. So I think it's a free ban for Clutch if they don't want to ban it in game 5.
Plus, we were talking about mental warfare earlier. Make Doublelift play something he hates. If they want him to play Sona, we know how much he hates that champion. Put him on it anyway. That could be the angle for Clutch, but we're about to hop into Champion Select for what will be the final game today. Let's see how they go about doing it. It's Team Liquid saying no more Rumble as Clutch Gaming continue to keep up the red side Yuumi bans.
Yeah, no surprise there. Rumble and Kiana identified as the game-winning champions thus far. All right, what will be the follow-up here?
This
Clutch
is where
Gaming
the Sona's been
continue.
banned in every previous blue side game for Team Liquid. I don't think Clutch is going to do it, and they change it up.
Okay, Xayah banned away. Remember, this is what Cody Sun played on all 3 games that Clutch Gaming played on the red side. So they ban out their own 80 carry. Will they ban the Akali? Yes, Jensen will not be allowed onto this pick for the 4th time today.
I literally heard from the crowd. People are getting into Champ Select now. They're like, Akali! Make up your Akali! Yeah, it's Akali! And they're able to ban out what Team Liquid used for so many of their wins there. That does leave up the Aatrox for the first pick, though. Impact going to try his hand again.
Impact on the Aatrox. Last time around, he tried playing the Jace, tried playing one of those champions supposed to bully lane, got slammed by the Rumble from Huni. Not only failed to build a lead, but failed to even keep up as he was constantly under his turret.
I mean, Aurelia is still up. You would think that this is something they'd want to get DeMonte back on, and the question is Aurelia and Sejuani or just Aurelia? Or what have they planned? Top Catch wasn't even that effective for CoreJJ in the last game. Part of that was because it was against the Rumble and he's super slow after he eats someone on a Rumble wall.
Well, they will unclog the frog here from
Yeah.
I mean, it signals that they definitely want to go for a hard CC pick, right?
Yeah.
The Rumble is not available in this game, so they know they don't have that answer to a Tom Kench. So they're denying Team Liquid possible safety from the bottom side. They're doing more than that. They're also taking away Xmithy's Sejuani, which Team Liquid have relied on.
All right, Sejuani locked in for Clutch Gaming. We saw this earlier on in the series back in game 1. Wasn't really what Clutch needed. Didn't find too much success with that pick back in that game. We'll see if things can change up a little bit here. But of course, picking a Tahm Kench will also help deny your opponents from having save mechanisms against heavy CC champions like that said.
They may have just delayed the Aurelia because it's not something that TL have gone for basically the entire year, and they have gone for the Sona. And here's the rub. Sona Tahm Kench has been winning lane in these games. Sona Tarek, though.
Look at his face.
I told you, this is the tilter. Make him play something he is miserable playing.
Oh, man.
Is that how you win?
Look at his face. Double hit.
Is this what has to be done?
All right, they're
Finals.
putting coach of the split to the test here.
It's Sivir Tahm Kench against Sona Tarek. So Sona Tarek should pretty much never leave the turret. They are just going to be stuck farming underneath that. Let's see how the bans go through now. They know they have top laner and bottom lane locked in on the side of Team Liquid. Clutch Gaming having their bottom lane and their jungler locked in, so expect to see some solo lanes, particularly some mid lane bans coming out here, I think.
Wow. I do want to point out the actual throwback for this Sona Tarek pick, though, and how specifically this is something that TL thinks they are better at than everyone else. Because even though this was a massively present pick earlier on in the year, since some nerfs, almost every team has been moving away from it. In the top 5 competitive regions on patch 9.15, it has one pick by Prey in the LCK. So this would be the second pick on patch 9.15.
Did he win that game?
No.
Okay,
So
that's
it's yet to win on this patch in a top 5 region. But Doublelift and Core JJ have been the best Sona Tarek I have seen. So it's not surprising to see them go it here, but it is bold.
Well, Clutch Gaming are deciding to strictly focus junglers here in the second part of the bans. They get rid of the Jarvan, get rid of the Skarner, both pretty big picks here for Xmithy. We've seen him on both these champions plenty of times. We will not see him on either one this time around. Liquid will focus mid lane like I was expecting. They're banning out that Irelia, keeping DeMonte away from it. And yes, there is Silas banned out.
Yeah, I was thinking they were not going to let that one through once again for Clutch to be able to first pick here on the second half of draft phase. And that means they're going to have to do some new solo laners. Will it be another spicy pick, or could they default back to a more standard 5-on-5 team fight front to back? They already have Sivir for backline.
Yeah, they're going to need to have some very quality initiation because you can't poke out the Sona.
They've defaulted. It's back to 5-on-5. It's just backline.
5-on-5. That's some poke, though. It is more speed to get in.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough to team fight with Sona Sivir against with Sivir Karma against the Sona Tarek.
And Clutch Gaming's composition feels very, very light on damage right now. When you look at what they've got, it's just Sivir. And that means it'll be hard to get through the shields and heal of a Sona Tarek. Team Liquid, they're bringing a cannon into the mid lane. Nope, they're going to go with the jungler instead. The traditional Sejuani counter in the Trundle picked up.
Yeah, and they see it's definitely front-to-back team fight because with Karma locked in, even if you go AP Karma, it's not going to be the same as these explosive mid laners that Clutch have been playing before. And he's probably going to build an Ardent Sensor as well. So it's probably going to be front-to-back team fighting in the late game. What's great at that? Trundle, shredding your tanks. Corki, one of the best scaling APs from mid lane. So it's going to be a throwdown. A very
long to develop
standard and like honorable team fight.
Honorable team fighting.
Sivir though. Tristana solo lane.
Yeah. Well, now we got some more damage on the side of Clutch Gaming.
And a possible early snowball because you're looking at only late game, right? Even if you have Karma build some AP early, it's usually a lot more late game where it groups up with the Sivir and really helps support the Sivir. But now with Tristana, you have early game options. Tristana early on can really put a lot of harassment down on things like Aatrox in the top lane. Long lane, you can try and farm the turret plates as well very quickly. Use our explosive charge on the turret after bullying out the champion. And that's a possible area for Clutch to kind of keep that fire alive.
I really do like the team composition Liquid has been able to put together, though, especially when you look that it is going to be a front-to-back team fighting team. I like the Tarek in the Sona Tarek. I feel like it had almost fully transitioned to Sona Tahm Kench, which was not nearly as powerful in team fights, because if people hard initiated on Sona, she would withstand some of the burst, and then you kill her 3 seconds later. Now, the Sona shield buys time for the Taric ultimate, the stuns come through, they chase down, and they continue to win the fight with the Corki. So I say Team Liquid will have a 5v5 team fighting edge, which puts the impetus on Clutch to win early.
Especially when you consider the jungle matchup. Trundle versus Sejuani, we know how easy it is for Trundle to take those resistances away, but Sejuani is the only tank on the side of Clutch Gaming. Yeah, you have a Tahm Kench, that's not going to have the economy to frontline against a squad like what Team Liquid has. And it could be very dangerous here, especially if that Sejuani is not tanky enough. Here we go, Game 5.
Liquid fans coming in strong, even in Game 5. Came into the day, many Liquid fans expected the clean sweep. The main point of contention between most people was 3-0 or 3-1. Is Clutch gonna get a game? Now, is Clutch gonna make finals?
I mean, I hear the Clutch Gaming cheers out here too, just as loud.
And talking about Clutch Gaming and everybody, all their fans wanting them to pop off here, we got to hear from Demonte about what he's trying to win for.
Well, I think winning the LCS title for us probably means a lot more than other teams. All 5 of us have never done that before, whereas other players and other teams kind of have experienced what it feels like to hold that trophy, you know? And yeah, I think especially for me, I kind of want to just do this for Huni. I've been saying this for a long time in my career, but I've played with him for a long time, and I know how badly he wants to win and actually claim that title.
And I love the camaraderie between Huni and Demonte, who have played together for a very long time now. Thinking back, Huni has had very poor results in the semifinals. He usually comes into the semifinals as a favorite. In fact, what I would consider the greatest upset in LCS playoff history was when Huni was on the 17-1 Immortals team in semifinals and actually ended up losing that game
Lucian top
to TSM with Lucian top. Now they come in as the underdogs against the heavy favorites and having a chance to upset.
And whenever you bring up underdog stories and upsets and TSM, I want to throw back to, again, what I mentioned earlier on in the series. Remember, it was Clutch Gaming that was the team that upset TSM last year, made it be their first time ever missing the semifinals. This is a brand, this is an emblem that can strike fear into the hearts of teams that should, could, would, maybe might go to the finals and then can't. Clutch Gaming, we'll see if they have what it takes.
All right, Huni on that Tristana gets the early level 2. We expect him to try and pressure the Aatrox under the tower. He's doing just that. Rocket jumps in for the extra shot on the explosive charge and a huge trade.
Long cooldown on that rocket jump. Knows he's up against a jungle Trundle. So fairly weak early ganking means Huni should be able to accrue a fairly large CS advantage early on in that top lane.
It's also very easy for Huni to get away from almost any of those ganks unless the pillar interrupts the rocket jump with perfect placement, but that's super hard to do.
I think it's really good bringing it up, though, as Clutch Gaming now are focusing that area with 3 members. Demonte roams over from mid as well.
Oh,
very hard
gonna
gank
make
to
this
pull
3-man
off.
dive happen. They are going to back away as soon as Xmithie shows up. This becomes so much riskier. Demonte gets a chomp taken out of him there as the pillar slightly blocks off his escape route. But considering Jensen has so many minions he has to deal with in the mid lane, that means he's not able to rotate over, and Clutch do not get punished for this.
And looking at this map overall, Team Liquid is getting shoved in early in all 3 lanes. So really, they are just playing straight up defense until they can get their items and find their first team fight once they get the Taric and the Sona ultimate online. So for an entire series where Clutch has really been the ones trying to make plays and force him over and over again, instead of Team Liquid matching their tempo, they've decided to actually go completely defensive. Expect it to come at them, try and withstand it, and then beat them later.
Xmithie will clear out this Scuttle Crab in the bottom side of the river. So far, things are going just fine here for Doublelift and Core JJ, having more farm, actually, than their counterparts in the Sivir and Tahm Kench. We'll see how these two continue to scale up throughout the laning phase. If they can get to that mid-game point where it becomes what you were talking about, Jat, with too many shields and heals to burst down instantly, and then once Cosmic Radiance lands, you just have to disengage at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep track of the gold totals for the bottom laners as well, since obviously this is still the Sona taking Kleptomancy, as well as starting with the Spell Thieves and getting off those extra procs as they push in the minion wave.
Yeah, Tarek actually does very well with a medium amount of income. He needs a decent base mana pool so he can auto-Q every time they do an objective or group up in a team fight. So again, one of the reasons I like this combo more than the Sona Tahm Kench combo is because of how well Tarek does with this early farm while Sona is building up to the completed Spell Thieves to start CSing.
And there was an interesting stat that just popped up on the screen. Aatrox versus Tristana over LCS Summer Split play, 2-0, 2 wins, 0 losses, but averaged 750 gold down at 15 minutes. So you would expect this lane to get slammed, for Huni to just completely take over early on, but turning that into a win is an entirely different matter, especially with one of these strategies like playing an AD carry in the top lane. You have to play things a little bit differently.
I mean, we already kind of went over, though. Huni, so aggressive. He rocket jumped in for that trade, completely blind of any of the jungler whereabouts. He definitely wants to press it as far as he can go. With Team Liquid having Smithy in place to counter the dive that was put into place, though, that actually bought them a lot of time, and it bought them a lot of even footing here for Impact. Already, almost 6 minutes into the game for the Aatrox to be even CS with the Tristana. No turret plates being taken. This is actually quite well for how the early stages of this matchup can go.
Bottom side double from Core JJ are going to disengage rather easily here from Vulcan, trying to walk up there with the Tahm Kench tongue. Cody's son is half HP and no mana, so he's backing himself off here for a little bit. Does decide to eat that biscuit. That'll get him a little bit more mana to work with right now.
Yeah, early lane going just fine for Doublelift and Core JJ. It's really going just fine for all of TL. They have overall gold leads on the map. A lot of time was invested early for that attempted 3-man dive top lane, and Xmithy has been happily farming at a fairly efficient pace. Also, not even close to a turret plate being started for TL, and Double is going to get a very good early recall off. He'll probably be able to finish his upgraded support item and a tier with how much gold he has right now. Yeah, that's the perfect early Sona recall. That's everything you need.
Again, the early game so far, 342 gold from the Spell Thieves, plus the Kleptomancy for the Sona, doing a lot for the overall totals that people are seeing on their screen. Dragon will be given over after the reset from the Team Liquid bottom lane, though. And this is another Cloud Drake.
It's like the 7th Cloud Drake of the last 8. All right, Infernal. Infernal's coming up next.
Early Cloud over to the side of Clutch Gaming, help him move around a little bit better here, but Xmithy takes the opportunity to collect the enemy red buff on second spawn. Looney gets pulled back into the chains, and the full sweet spot combo from Impact. Now DeMonte has to escape from Xmithy. Well, he hasn't even used the subjugate yet. DeMonte has to get away with the flash. Jensen will continue chasing after him. Not enough damage to get the kill, but a summoner spell and sending him home is a good prize.
Yeah, they actually sent DeMonte to go check on the red buff because they just took the dragon. They didn't want to give away too much, but he walks into Xmithy, who had already taken it, and deals a decent amount of damage, plus having that summoner spell trade. Teleport used back out to the mid lane for DeMonte. See if there's any response from Lear on the bottom half.
And I like what we saw from Huni there. You saw him getting back, the recall completing right as Xmithy made his way into the top side. Huni paying respects to that enemy jungler this time around, but now Lyra is going after Jensen. Stuns are going to be coming through. Chain CC is down, and first blood goes to Clutch Gaming. Impact's made his way into the fight now, looking to find some damage on DeMonte. He knows there is no flash on the Clutch mid laner. Xmithy's also hanging around the wings here in case Clutch tried to fight it, but they know better.
And that's that response we're looking for. When you blow your flash offensively, has the same effect for the enemy jungler as if you just got ganked and you blew it defensively. Because Jensen tried to chase over that Raptor pit, he actually exposed himself with the cooldown of the flash. So that's why Lyra knew he could flash in there with the Arctic Assault to get the knock up and secure the kill.
And great execution too, interrupting Jensen's Valkyrie with the flash to make sure that there was absolutely nothing Jensen could do to escape. So Clutch Gaming have been slowly following behind in this early game, and a nice play by Lyra to keep him in.
And the rest of Clutch Gaming, a few hundred gold behind their opponents. Jensen has package now too in the Corki. Remember, we always have to keep an eye on that whenever it's available in this Champions in the game, because it's so much team fight power. If you can find the opportunity to really use it, most teams are good at playing around it. will play safe enough, but it just has to be wasted instead. Double Lift and Core JJ just trying to take these small, frequent trades in bottom lane, put their healing to good use. You can see they're still farming up just fine down here, as Vulcan and Cody's son are going to be pushed back. Impact continuing to push towards the turret here. Huni could find himself getting dove. Jensen takes the package in between the turrets, but now Demonte's made his way into the fight as well. Xmithy has to flash away to avoid that route, and Clutch Gaming stopped the dive.
Yeah, good follow. You can see on the mini-map there as Clutch were trying to respond to the move up top side, following on the back inner line, and they're able to get there in time to defend it. Getting the flash actually out of Xmithy is a decently big advantage, since Lyra had to blow his to go for the offensive play.
Besides that play, though, Impact has been doing a very good job in this lane, landing most of his sweet spots on Huni at Huni's auto attack range. But if he gets too aggressive, he could lose his flash. Vulcan on the roam.
Ooh, Huni tried to go in there, but a nice deny knockup from Impact. Vulcan showed up as well, and Clutch Gaming just can't get anything. If Huni could have made the jump, he maybe could have flashed behind and made a Tristana insect play, but not today.
And we'll see if that health pool matters here, because Huni took a big chunk as they're going for their classic 10 to 11 minute Rift Herald. Everyone roams up to try and take this down.
Clutch Gaming knows how they like to play League of Legends, but so does Team Liquid, who are now moving in to stop it.
TL has Taric and Sona ult. This is actually what they've been waiting the previous 10 minutes for, as a fight. TL might actually get this Rift Herald.
TL should have control over it for now. Clutch has to decide if this is worth fighting over, potentially dying over. Demonte fires off the Empowered Inner Flame, but will not be able to secure anything. Vulcan is caught, and Double Lift is on the board.
Team Liquid have noticed the pattern. They're ready with the recalls here for the swap to top side, and they close the trap shut. Catching out Vulcan, getting the Rift Herald, popping the Rift Herald, and they are going to use this to snowball.
Oh man, what a huge move by Team Liquid. As soon as they have the ultimates, they actually catch Clutch in their own game. How does Clutch come back from this one?
Clutch can't really do much to defend this tier 1 turret right now. Double Lift and Core JJ doing a good job of just keeping everybody shielded and healed. Shelly trying to put the last bit of work into it. Lyra's gonna be on the front line, looking to find some CC. Instead, he is just killed. Cosmic Radiance comes down to protect Core JJ and Xmithy, but Clutch Gaming are not done yet. Impact will try to fight, defend his teammates as they retreat. Boomerang Blade not quite able to find the kill here. Vulcan gets a slow, but that's not enough. And Team Liquid walk away with another kill.
There is a counter push on bottom side here, and it is a Tristana, so maybe explosive charge. Huni's able to get some gold off of these turrets. That's why the top half Clutch were trying to keep Team Liquid around.
Yeah, Huni's getting at least 3 plates out of this play, which is a nice recovery for what had been a pretty disastrous series of events for Clutch. It seems like they have a little bit of indecisiveness about what to do against Sona Taric. Do they hard engage or do they not? So they end up kind of meandering in the river as they half get pulled away, and Vulcan doesn't actually flash out of the Aatrox W, which ends up costing him his life. And then again on the fight here, in defense of the turret, Lyra ends up just kind of walking into the team as no one else can hard commit with him.
Yeah, these are back-to-back picks by Impact.
Yeah.
First one, Aatrox slips over the top half of that wall, able to land the Infernal Change plus the Q1 sweet spot onto Vulcan. Vulcan does a flash, they get the kill. Second one, he does onto Lyra, they get another kill.
Jensen starting the 1v1 against Huni down here, but it won't be 1v1 much more. Vulcan and Xmithy have both shown up. Now Core JJ tries to disengage from Demonte's tether. He gets stunned up there at the very end, but with Double Lift and Impact nearby, there's no real kill threat just yet.
The early cooldown on Taric Ultimate is very long, however, so this Infernal Drake is something Clutch Gaming could actually look to take if they're able to get back to lane after these recalls. I think Huni taking so much damage on that turret might end up giving TL the Drake, so another win for TL.
Yeah, 2 members back in base for Clutch Gaming with Tom Kench and Tristana, so Team Liquid will get the objective. They can push on the turret as well. Teleport to the top side for Clutch. Puts Cody's son in a position on the Sivir to try and trade maybe a turret plate.
And in game number 4, we talked about how so goes the early game, so goes the game. That's been the story of this series so far, and Team Liquid is just smashing this early game so far. Look at the gold lead, especially bottom side. You add these gold values together, it's 9K on the side of Team Liquid. Put them together over on Clutch Gaming, it's 7,000. That's a 2K lead for this double support lineup from the side of TL.
There you go. Thesis put to the test from Champion Select.
It's going really well for Team Liquid here so far at the beginning of the game. Plates finally go down. Still about a 2,000 lead for the team overall. Cody Sun trying to back away from Impact. Doesn't want to deal with this 1v1. Not when Impact has had the good early performance he has had so far. Huni tries to keep pushing up in the bottom side. He knows he only needs 2 auto attacks on that turret, but Jensen will not let him get them.
And this is fairly similar to how TL won Game 3 in terms of overall pace of the game and not forcing anything. They're taking the small advantage where they can get them, and they're capitalizing when Clutch Gaming move into a spot and try for a play.
Monte gets himself away from the trouble. Now Jensen is absolutely deleted. Nice damage in CC from Quad.
Oh my goodness, Jensen thought that he was safe because he has the package, but you have to activate the package to get that CC immunity, and he doesn't use it quick enough. As he sees the Sejuani ultimate come out of the brush from Fog of War, not enough reaction time there for him. He doesn't activate it. He goes down from 100 to 0 within that stun duration, opening it up for Huni to get back down bottom and finish off that turret.
Exactly. The Jensen anti-fun police for Huni have finally had to go back to base, and that means he can grab that turret. That's Clutch Gaming's first turret, the first turret overall in the game. Extra money in the pockets of Clutch for that one helps alleviate some of this early lead that Liquid had built for themselves. Scuttle Crab spawning in the bottom half of the map here. Xfinity will try to take care of that one as Jensen goes back to bottom lane farming duty. You can see no first item still completed onto Huni's Tristana, trying to work towards the Blade of the Ruined King, but decided to stop off real quick for an Executioner's Calling first, which is an incredibly valuable item in this game specifically.
And I'm so happy this is Game 5 Flowers, because normally 2 kills to 2, 60 minutes, you think boring. In Game 5, I think tense, because any moment could actually decide the series. And when we think about both of these teams being front-to-back team fighting compositions, I think this game's going to come down to those mid and late game team fights. So when Jensen gets picked off like that, you wonder, will he be able to dodge the initiation at the end of the game? Because if Jensen actually gets picked off like that in an end game team fight, the damage for TL goes away and they lose the series. So because it's so close, I'm just looking forward to the tension that we're going to get in late game team fights.
Yeah, completely agree. Plus, I really like your point, Captain Flowers, with the Executioners, because if you look down the healing on Team Liquid,
It's everywhere.
it's insane. It is everywhere. And Executioners is so good. It applies on any physical damage. So your ricochets, your boomerangs, everything from Sivir can get that application. And you want to tag every single one of these champions because a lot of them are going to have a lot of value from that stat. Here we go, though, chasing down on Huni. He knows he's been had, and he's teleporting out to the opposite side.
He was thinking a lot more were coming, but he's going to use that pressure on the other side of the map.
Clutch Gaming says, who cares? We know they want to pressure onto the bottom side. Let's just not deal with them. If they want to have these death ball team fights, we'll go somewhere else. And where they're going right now is straight to the top side tier 2.
4 members rotating over. Look at the mini-map, too. They're going to get there quicker. About 50% of the turret here taken by Huni and his explosive charges. Bottom side, though, Jensen is answering for Team Liquid. They're just trying to delay here as he continues to push on the turret with his Trinity Force.
Another thing to track with these Sonateric teams is the fact that they have access to 2 Sight Stones. So it is harder for Clutch Gaming to make those surprise moves across the map, and it is harder for them to get surprise team fights. So normally you can only ward one side of the map, and you have to move your pressure around. Here, TL actually has decent vision coverage on both the bot side of the map, and they still have a littering of wards towards their blue side. So even more difficult for Clutch to move through the map.
Clutch Gaming trying to respond to what Team Liquid are putting down, though. It is hard to do a tall order when you're up against a team that has been so dominant for the past couple of years, really, in LCS play. But Clutch Gaming, they've had their ups and downs. They've been a team that was bottom of the list, then they moved up to the middle of the ladder. Now, sort of having this surge, as you already talked about earlier, Jat, with the new coaching staff coming in, the team sort of finding their comfort, how they want to play the game, and it's been working so far.
And one thing that Clutch have over Team Liquid in this game with their team comp is the Sejuani long-range stun possibility for picking people off. Right. Team Liquid have gotten 2 with Impact having some very good plays on Aatrox, but that is so unreliable. That should not happen. Towards the mid-game, Aatrox getting in range for the Q1 knockup and Infernal Chain. It's so much easier for Lyra, for Clutch, to try and find those picks with the Sejuani. That's what they have to do, because right now, Team Liquid focused on objectives. They're holding the top and mid with their 2 damage dealers, and they slip over, they take the quick dragon to accrue the extra scaling damage from Infernal.
Clouds for both sides now as Team Liquid will keep defending their mid lane. Clutch Gaming will continue trying to push up, lay down some of these wards, clear out the TL vision, but it's just so hard when there's so much of it from those 2 site stones. When you're looking around at inventories, I want to keep an eye on where are those stopwatches. I can see one on Xmithy, I can see one on Vulcan. Watching those as the next team fight could show up. Summoner spells are also online pretty much across the board. A TP down for Huni, a TP
I saw
down
that.
for Double Lift. That's it.
You'd think they'd go for him, but there's pressure on the other sides of the map. Maybe they opt not to.
I think either they
should have seen it.
Either they didn't see it, or like because it didn't touch anything and they don't have vision.
It might not have
inside
played
the
a
brush.
particle, yeah.
Because he's in the brush on the control ward maybe.
Red team's turret.
Even though it's not intuitive because it is his sword. It is like a long melee ability. All right, bottom side though, prepping possible move from CG.
Cody's son uses the ulti to get himself away. Huni's going to continue pushing down here in bottom lane. Control ward over the wall going to be cleared out by Lyra. Vulcan ends up finding more than he bargained for here, waiting in the brush on the backside of red. Him and Lyra both going to get out there with a blast cone. Huni's also backing up here bottom side, clearing out the Krugs as he leaves.
Yeah, TL winning this pressure game. Jensen getting a lot of side lane pressure down, and also Double Lift and Core JJ doing a good job to make sure the wave is pushed, even if they don't have the best wave clear choices. And Kobe, we talked about Lyra's ability to find picks in the mid lane, but if TL stay grouped, they'll have so much burst resistance that Clutch Gaming is really going to have to commit to a kill. And the make or break there could end up deciding the game. If they do kill someone before the Taric ult comes down, then maybe they plow through for the rest of the fight. But if they just miss it, TL will have so many chase tools after the fact with Trundle Pillar and Sona Speed. It could be disastrous.
Well, I got good news for you, Jack, because they're all grouped up around mid lane, trying to make the push as a team.
Here they
Lyra's
go.
over the wall. There comes your initiation.
Not even
Finding
close.
it onto Jensen, but yeah, they don't decide to go any further for it because they didn't have Huni yet. He was still in the way.
Yeah, Clutch have sustained damage. They don't have burst. So both the Sivir and the Triss have to really be hitting down for a long fight.
Vulcan flashing away, Double is really going to be killed, but now the fight could go either way. Lyra's also going to be in some trouble, exhausted off the side, still looking to run back in. Nice stopwatch coming up from Xmithy. Core JJ very low, Liquid very low, Lyra very low. Demonte still looking to find some more, on to Jensen, Root not going to connect. Boomerang blade flying off to the side. Cody's son not going to grab much yet with that. Vulcan with a good save, but now he could be in some trouble himself. His stopwatch going to be doing some work. Huni's getting away. Clutch Gaming under pressure. They lose 2. Jensen gets the damage.
And look how long these fights are going! The sustained output from Team Liquid. Impact makes the flash play on Aatrox once again. The point man for the team.
And now what can Team Liquid continue to do? They have so much experience in these long, drawn-out fights, playing more Sona than pretty much any other team in the world. Watching this, the patience of Core JJ, not using his Taric ult until very late in the fight, until they
That looks like
call
burst
it.
damage to me.
Hey, if they had burst, he'd be dead, Kobe. Fast sustained. Overall, though, Jensen does tag most of the team. Or sorry, Core JJ does tag most of the team in the ultimate. And a wayward Q here by Cody's son.
And you can see actually in the replay there, they kited out the Taric ultimate pretty much the entire duration. Yeah. It's the re-engage from Impact that catches Vulcan. Then he goes for the flash Q3 and sets it up for Jensen and Double Lift to finish up with the damage on the backline.
And this is a 5,000 gold lead now for Team Liquid. They are sitting comfortably ahead of their opponents. 2 Drakes compared to 1. They've got the turret advantage, 3-2 now as well. And with Baron on the map, they're able to put down so much vision around it. There's a lot of pressure on Clutch Gaming to respond to this, or at least be in a spot where they can.
Yeah, those are the exact team fights that we are talking about in Champ Select when we're looking at these 2 team comps and talking about front to back and this quote-unquote honorable team fight style where you both see all other 5 members just trying to continually poke out and re-engage on each other. Able to find that last window. Now it is Team Liquid moving in the line of wards. You talked about the extra sight stone here. Full wards behind Baron, Dragon also coming up, so they have some more for the rest of this objective as well. And that means with Team Liquid controlling the vision, they have all the extra information to work with, plus the extra gold.
Yeah, and that gold is being spent for some really powerful items. Jensen at 40% CDR and some crit coming in with the Zeal. He's the one who's going to pump up the sustained damage in team fights, but even double it, having his Lich Bane completed, now also being able to pack a punch, and that's before Huni has completed IE or Cody's son has completed IE. So until you see those Infinity Edges on Clutch Gaming, there is a massive power gap between the two teams, which means TL can look towards Baron and look towards forcing some plays.
TL, so scary in these moments. Remember back to what we heard from Demonte talking about how players on the team, a lot of them don't have that same experience winning titles and being at that top echelon of play for the LCS. Well, one thing that comes with winning those titles is being in Game 5 situations plenty of times before. Team Liquid knows what this feels like, and they're way more comfortable in this kind of an environment.
All right, I think it's up to Clutch Gaming to utilize especially the Sivir and Karma speed to navigate these team fights. Right now, they're getting closed in on, actually. Huni runs into Impact, and the rest of the team goes to the jungle.
Huni's got himself the Blade of the Ruined King, trying to outplay this, kind it around. A lot of damage coming out. Lyra's able to make his way in, and that is a 1-for-0 going the way of Clutch Gaming, but meanwhile, it's Team Liquid pressuring mid.
Huge outplay by Huni right there to get the kill as Lyra collapses down, because really, I still think Clutch is trying to buy time. Yes, they'll need the Sivir Karma speed later, but they need their items on their marksman. They don't have them yet. Getting that pick on Impact and putting them on that 40-second death timer buys them a lot of time.
Demonte will repel this push in the top side here now as well, taking care of those range minions, pushing Jensen back yet again. Jensen's quirky, very scary, but when he's alone, you take out those minions, he's still going to be forced to retreat. Clutch Gaming, they know they have the man advantage on the map here for another 10 seconds or so. So Team Liquid probably won't be looking for any big fights until they've got Impact back. Clutch will try to move out, throw down a couple wards here in this neutral territory, in this river.
All right, take another look at this one. Impact walking right into Huni, knocks him back first with the Buster Shot, jumps out of the Infernal chain there with the rocket jump, and knowing that Lyra is on the way, just smooth ultimate there once again from the Sejuani. That range with the hard CC allows them to tip some of these close plays.
And there's the item you were talking about, Jat. The Infinity Edge coming online for Marksman is a big deal. Huni gets his off of that outplay.
That's one Infinity. They need two Infinities and beyond.
All right, we're there now. Let's see if they can go full Space Ranger on him. Take this one all the way to the winner's circle. They do have plenty of farm on both these AD carries. Jensen's still going to keep pushing up in the bottom lane. Level 16 on this Corki. Scariest man on the map.
TL still stronger. Clutch would have to get a good pick at the start of these team fights, but at least they have a chance now with these two Infinity Edges. Rapid fire cannon, huge for Jensen.
Jensen goes in really far, and he's killed. What in the hell was that?
That was a rapid death, my friend. Packages right into Huni,
man.
and Huni lets him know what's up with the Tristana.
Woo! We heard earlier in the series that Jensen had more confidence now in these series after getting a title.
That's his thing.
That
he
is
went right
exactly-
into the entirety of them.
It's exactly the type of play that used to curse Jensen away from titles. Now he needs to rely on the rest of TL to come back. That was a huge mistake by Jensen in this big moment.
Can we get a pro view replay on that one?
Oh, no.
All right, let's take a look at what Clutch can push on afterwards. Tristana on your bottom of your map right now, gets it into the tower and rotating up through the jungle as well. Clutch Gaming now trying to defend.
Vulcan will not allow himself to get CC'd here. Goes ahead, pops the cleanse to get away from that one. The cleanse was invoked by the Summoner's Spellbook. Huni on the side, just in case Team Liquid wanted to go after him there, he would be able to provide some backup, some covering fire. Team Liquid will move back out into neutral territory on the map, keep sweeping these wards away, putting down more and more of their own. But back on that play, I guess I can understand what Jensen is going for. Here we go.
Here's what he sees.
He sees him all right.
Let's go for Huni.
So he goes straight into the package. Boom, Demonte's in the bush. Oh my goodness.
Didn't see the karma in the brush.
Yeah, you know you
Even
have,
we learned.
you know you have teammates nearby, and I guess you're expecting some healing, some shielding, all sorts of good stuff. But it was just so reckless from Jensen. and he ends up paying the price for it. Vulcan forced to flash away. Nice expenditure of the Summoner spell there. Team Liquid forcing that out.
Yeah, and Flowers, Jensen cannot do that again in this game. He is the majority of their team fight damage. He needs to consistently stay back, use his 40% CDR, get rapid fire hits off, use his missile barrage over and over as Sona and Tarek buy time. If he does that at the start of the fight, Clutch is gonna Sivir ult, Karma speed in, and wipe TL.
Oh, this could turn bloody real fast.
Here we
Team
go.
Liquid's walking forward. Stun's able to find his way onto a couple of different targets. Cosmic Radiance coming down. Vulcan's going to be bursted. He's out of the picture, and Team Liquid have 1 for 0. But can Clutch find anything else? Tarek ulti down means even 4v5. If they're able to find an angle to shoot, they might get something. They found Cody. He flashes over the wall. He'll stay alive, but Clutch Gaming is on the retreat. Cody still no flash available. Remember, he just used it. They're not able to catch up to him, and that means Clutch Gaming have to go back to the base, and Team Liquid with Sona Tarek, you've got unlimited HP for taking Baron. They're into the pit.
You touched on it after the last play, Jad, when Jensen jumps in and, well, never mind. We might have a fight around the Baron as Devontae goes to
stop
base
it,
check.
but this is a death ball by TL.
There's no way you stop this. They have full HP. It's Sona Tarek.
They're just trading mid-lane turret here. Hooney is going to get that one for Clutch, and that is a big price to pay for the Baron buff. Team Liquid so happy about how that last pick went for them. They just sat on the vision, are able to make the charge here. Look at that pillar, forces so much of a separation.
And TL know how to utilize the death ball with the death cap now on Sona. The size of those shields when they start these fights. Now with a Baron buff as well. Each Lich Bane Q auto buy doublelift will be half of a non-tank's health. They're gonna look to maybe even try and take the game in this push.
Team Liquid is looking real scary right now. Remember, this would be their 4th consecutive trip to the grand final, their 4th potential consecutive trophy in the LCS. Jensen will keep pushing topside. Tier 2 falls. Clutch Gaming will have to make their defense here at the base. Tier 2s are down in mid and top. Inhibitor turrets will be under pressure. Hooney tries to grab the damage. Doublelift has some follow-up. The shield will keep Hooney alive. The burn doesn't take him out.
Just barely. Hooney now runs back to the fountain. They don't have long. The minion wave crashing here with the Baron buff. Cody's son, you can see on the Sivir, ricochets are trying to clear out the minion wave, but the cannon's still firing away.
Demonte's doing a good job trying to keep these guys back as well. Morello Nomicon plus the Inner Flame is a lot of poke, a lot of healing reduction to try to slow down the Team Liquid War Machine. Hooney's made his way into the mid lane now, dealing with impact, expends the ult there, wins out in the trade. But is it enough? Team Liquid, 4 men strong, still gonna be pressuring that top lane tier 3. They're not stopping anytime soon. Vulcan's nearly killed. McSmithy's now soaking all the damage. They're still gonna push forward. They're still gonna make their way into the base now. Smithy gonna be healed up by the Subjugate. Clutch Gaming will lose inhibitor number 1, or will they? Team Liquid just trying to be cautious with this one. They don't want to risk the overcommit, but they'll take the end hit.
So much patience by TL, getting safe damage down time and time again. They're not incurring much risk, and they just keep powering up. Doublelift getting closer to level 16. Jensen getting closer to a 6-item Corki, and their 5v5 just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
All right. You have to play the difficult scenario now because Team Liquid are coming to finish the job. They've got a minute left on the Baron. For Clutch Gaming, there are not a lot of areas to work with right now. So much of the map has been lit up by Team Liquid, but they have to find an area to try and get that engage with the Sejuani ultimate and get one of those kills early. Otherwise, it's going to be another siege from Team Liquid, and they will wear you away.
I feel like the only thing that Clutch could do is land a Sejalt onto Jensen and burst him down, because there is no QSS, no cleanse, no Mikhails. So if they do land hard CC, they'd have to take advantage of that window, but it's just so hard against how well TL is grouping up.
Jensen also not even a part of the siege machine right now. He'll be continuing to play split push duty here in the bottom side. Tier 2 goes down, only 15 seconds left on Baron, but it's already been a 4,500 gold power play here for the side of Team Liquid. Clutch Gaming just trying to wait out the last few seconds of this Baron push. Hooney will try to get auto attacks on to keep these guys away, but it's not going to do a whole lot, not by itself. Vulcan's going to be taken down and killed instantly. Team Liquid 5v4 for the next 30 seconds.
Yep, that inhibitor is toast. Can Clutch do it? 30 seconds left on Vulcan, but Team Liquid are coming with these super minions.
They have the Sona, they have the Taric. Cosmic Radiance is not available right now, but they feel they have the tools to go for the ending push right now. Team Liquid, after the Nexus turrets, number 1 will fall here. Damage coming out from Clutch, they will try to defend. The Redemption will keep them topped off, and they will repel the Liquid onslaught.
TL has plenty of time here. Doublelift sitting on high mana, just resetting everyone's health bars, waiting for the super minions to come in. TL does not have to leave.
Vulcan's back on the map. It is a full-on 5v5. Huni escapes what could have been a collapse there coming out from CoreJJ, but now the fight's going to be happening here yet again. Vulcan going to be taken very low. Impact in the front line. Huni's going to be stoking some damage, and Jensen's got him. That's a big one for Team Liquid.
Only one Nexus turret left, and with another member down, Clutch only have 4. Can they do it? Team Liquid coming for that victory!
CoreJJ goes for the flash into the stun on Cody's stun. He's not going to grab it, not anymore now! Vulcan is gone! Impacts into the back line. It was a valiant effort by Clutch Gaming, but Team Liquid show why they're the best team in North America!
Team Liquid pull back to Old Faithful in Game 5. Sona, Taric, and take a methodical victory once they got rolling with that death ball.
You dared them to do it, and they took the dare!
100% kill participation, by the way, for both the Sona and Taric in this game. 9 kill participation for Smithy's Trundle, so 90%, almost got the perfect score, but Team Liquid, you said it yourself, chat. You feel like the Sona's a band you can give up. I agreed with you. I thought that was probably the thing you have to replace with the Akali, but Team Liquid showed they've got this style nailed.
Yep, they prove it, and they go on to yet another final. And for Clutch Gaming, they put up such a massive fight, and it probably hurts more because they were so close. Credit to Clutch for making this such a series.
Monte and Huni, these guys have played together so much. They put on such an incredible show today. Outdid nearly everyone's expectations of themselves. You can hear the crowd. They know who got Clutch Gaming to 5 games.
So stressful playing these playoff games, working so hard every year. This team has had such improvement, though. They will be back.
Yep.
Already sporting the new colors. Team Liquid, though, they move forward, and they move to finals.
Absolutely. Clutch Gaming will also have another chance in the regional qualifier.
Clutch Gaming also still going to be playing in Detroit for the 3rd place match. We'll see them go up against CLG, who fell yesterday to Cloud9. And this is a Clutch Gaming that I think has a real good shot at that 3rd place.
Yeah, with the way they've improved throughout the year, pushing this Team Liquid team to all 5 games. But really, credit to Clutch for pushing Liquid. Also credit to Liquid to win. They come in as the favorite, and they were actually pushed. Yeah, proves they still have something else in the tank. They don't need to have Doublelift on a lane dominant pick. They can just play Sona, still win lane, get him to have way more gold than Cody's son by the end of the game, and just win with the death ball.
Yeah, we saw the bottom lane from Liquid, and I want to discuss them because we always praise Doublelift and CoreJJ because of the fact that they're so good compared to all their competition in the LCS. We saw them play a scaling non-lane dominant traditional AD carry in the Kai'Sa. Yep. We saw them play the dominant bottom lane in the Caitlyn with the Lux support, and then we saw them play Sona Taric. That's 3 different styles that managed to win them this series.
Yeah, and we also saw Jensen play Akali into Corki. So, yeah, mid lane assassin, great split pusher, into team fighter. They are showing flexibility, and I'm looking forward to the final.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually such an exciting series, right? A lot of people were not expecting full 5 games, this action-packed, that much emotion to be in this series, but it completely delivered there.
Yeah, it was just an incredible show from both sides. Team Liquid for getting the win, and Clutch Gaming for once again showing how scrappy some of these teams can be and how you cannot underestimate anyone. The way you described it, I think, was the best way to put it, Jat. You've got to play the games, and Clutch Gaming played their damn hearts out today, but it was still Liquid who emerged victorious. And for more on their win, we're going to send things down to Riv to hear from the victorious TL.
Thank you very much. I am standing on stage with the winners. Team Liquid heading to Detroit to play in the finals against Cloud9. Doublelift, I want to start with you. Overall, we saw the series going to 5. Many people thought today would be a 3-0 for Team Liquid. What were your thoughts on this series and maybe a little insights into game 2 and 4?
Yeah, no, we expected 3-0 as well. I think we had some pretty bad plays around mid. Honestly, I wasn't really a part of them, which was probably the problem. Thanks a lot, boys. And like, I think Clutch also played really well. Like, yeah, I can't take credit away. Like, they after laning phase especially, they were playing really well. So, and I think their drafts made a lot of sense. Like both of our teams, we drafted well, I would say. And in the end, like those games that we lost, like a little bit overconfident probably on some plays. And yeah, then they took the advantage and they snowballed it well.
Awesome. Impact, looking at you, Lyra and Huni were up top pretty often during the series, giving you some trouble. How did the series play out for you, having to absorb that pressure and kind of just take the game?
I just don't mind the Huni in the 1v1. So I was thinking about just what I can do. But this game, I think I'm trolling second game and fourth game. When I play Jace, I get advantage to flash down, but I don't use, and I'm making Peter lane getting bad because Rumble have TP advantage. And I don't know, it's fine, I think.
How do you solve those problems? How do you kind of say, hey, I'm trolling, and so what do you do to fix that?
That game lose because my bad, and just go next game, and fine.
Next game, and it was fine. We saw the results. Doublelift, we've seen before when teams are at the top of the standings, you can fall into the lack of drive mentality, kind of find yourself falling behind. The team did not seem to fall into that this year. What did the team focus on to prevent that from happening?
I think, well, we were really driven from losing so badly at MSI against G2, and then, you know, seeing teams that are super good and they can just do whatever they want. They can just pick whatever they want and, like, you know, role swap or whatever. They're just so good at the game. It's really motivating, actually. And like for us, like I think our team, we were focusing a lot this year on just having more fun and being more open-minded and improving our teamwork. So, because like honestly, individually, we might not have like the absolute best players in every position in the world, like some other teams do. But like I think what we do is like a really strong sense of teamwork and stuff like that. And I also personally, I just really love making the enemy AD carry hug his turret all game. And that was like, to me, that's like the most fun thing about the game. So luckily I was able to pull that off.
Well, it's awesome to see you having so much fun after all this time. Impact, final question for you. Looking at the 2018 Summer Finals, this will be a rematch of that now. You got to play against Licorice. You were his mentor for some time on C9. Are you excited to play against him again in the finals to see how he's gone?
Here we go again. It's matching again, but it's last year summer, same thing, right? I don't mind it too much. He good player in the top, and he looks like before regular season looks like not good, but in playoff looks good. So I'm excited that both Licorice.
Everybody's always a little bit stronger in playoffs. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's hear it one more time for Team Liquid as they are heading to the finals in Detroit. We're going to throw it to the State Farm analyst desk to break that down a little bit more.
Thank you, Riv. What do you do when you're forced to game 5? You go back to the tried and true. The Sonateric bot lane for TL will bring them to their 4th consecutive final and qualify them for the 2019 World Championship.
I mean, they got some looks early from Clutch. They actually played the early game pretty well. I think their draft lacked a little bit of burst and engage options because you always need to have a re-engage option for moments like this. You force the Tahm Kench out early, or excuse me, the Taric ult out early, but how do you start the fight again when everyone's low? You need a secondary engage option, and they just didn't have it. So despite having an okay early game, I think they need a little bit more burst and a little bit more CC.
Yeah, I would like to see them actually give away the Tahm Kench. I think first picking that or like early rotating it kind of hurt the comp because you want to have more engage. You want to have a Leona, you want to have a Nautilus, something can force after the Sejuani, and they didn't have that.
That just shows how far Clutch Gaming pushed Team Liquid, though, because I think in any other situation, Team Liquid is fine just playing whatever they did in the first few games and winning that way. But the fact that it had to come down to Sonateric in the last game tells me that this is as far as Team Liquid has shown us as what they have. They've been pushed to the brink here.
Oh, I don't think that this squad expected to be tested as hard as they were here in the semifinal. They were really made to earn it, and I do think you have to give credit to the Clutch Gaming squad, who, again, when you track their improvement from a 10th place spring split to contesting a 5-game series against the three-peat champions in the region, who will now still go on to play in Detroit. Let's not forget that they have a best-of-5 against CLG, which is going to be just as exciting to watch.
I think when you look at how these teams play, Clutch and C9 are relatively similar, relatively. Same with TL and CLG, and the fact that Clutch had such a good showing versus TL, you're going up against a weaker CLG that lost to C9 very handily. Like, this actually bodes very well for Clutch Gaming in the third, fourth match.
You saw the emotion on Hooney's face there, too, in the loss. I mean, what a defeat for him. His journey and story in the LCS has been a troubled one, to say the least, given the success that he has found in other regions. And so you could really feel the sting there for him to have been so close to that final and that opportunity for a title in this region.
But he's not the player that's going to give up.
Oh,
he's going to go. He's going to stay in there until he gets that title win. And I'm really excited to see it because he was the death leader in the top lane in the regular season. But in playoffs, a new Hooney came out. The old Hooney was definitely showing back, and that's really exciting because the whole team really feels like it's rallying around him.
We'll be back to talk more shot, but for now, we're going to hear more from Team Liquid on returning to another final. Avli is standing by with Team Liquid's mid laner.
Thank you, Dash. I am here with Jensen, and we've had a little bit of time to cool down, but just picking up your reactions after that intense 5-game series.
I don't know, the series was pretty crazy. I didn't expect it to be anywhere near as close as it was. I kind of had a feeling that Clutch was a good game, and they're really good at like skirmishing and fighting. But yeah, I think they definitely caught us by surprise. And I don't know, I'm just super happy that we made it to the finals.
And I definitely want to acknowledge how well Clutch played today. But like you said, coming into today, almost no one expected this close of a series. So was today all about Clutch really overperforming, or was there something up with Team Liquid?
I definitely think they performed better than we expected. So yeah, I'd say they overperformed, at least like in comparison to the regular season. I mean, they did beat TSM, but I don't know if that's too much of an accomplishment nowadays. Yeah, they definitely played well, and I think we definitely played a little bit worse. But they also played a lot of team fights, team comps. They're just really good at forcing fights, and I think they just caught us off guard a lot.
And something that I want to kind of check in with you about a week or two ago, you had made an announcement that, you had had some wrist injury or just some pain with your wrist. So I just want to check in and see how that's doing, if it's affected your practice at all, because I know for sure off of your Akali games, it has not affected your performance.
It's definitely affected me. Like, I don't think I've played Solwork in like 3 weeks now or something. And I've been sharing a lot of scrim time with Insanity, so he's been subbing in and helping, and that's been great. But it's getting a lot better now, so I can actually play a lot more now. I still feel a bit pain after today, but it is what it is. It went to 5 games, but it shouldn't be a problem moving forward.
And I heard Team Liquid has like a physical trainer for you working with you? Or?
Yeah, we have a guy called Alex who's been helping me out like two days a week, and he's been really helpful, so shout out to Alex.
Thank you, Alex. Well, kind of looking towards next week, you are moving on to finals, and your opponent is going to be your old team, Cloud9. And the last time that they were there, you were actually the one who helped them get there. So is that a finals matchup that you are looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I just hope Cloud9 get to Worlds again, so there you go, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I think C9 is playing really well right now, so it should be a pretty close and intense series.
And someone to focus a little bit more on is Nisqy. And kind of throughout the split, we've seen him pull out some really unique champions. And he himself has said that he's trying to expand his champion pool so that he can try to catch other mid laners off guard with some of his picks. And I believe yesterday in an interview, he said that he wants to prove that he's the best mid laner in NA. So what do you think about Nisqy, his pool, and are you nervous for him?
I mean, I think Nisqy has been performing really well this split. I think he's been playing particularly well together with Svenskeren. They play a lot around mid, so it's not going to be too fun for me. But I mean, I'm still feeling confident. I definitely think we're the better team, but he's definitely been performing well, so I think it's going to be a close one.
All right, well, in spring, you picked up your first title, and you are on track to pick up your second one in a row for summer. So is there anything that you'd like to say to your old teammates at Cloud9 who don't want that to happen?
Well, I was never able to get C9 a championship, but I hope I'll continue that trend.
Jensen, thank you. Best of luck next week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Avli and Jensen. Every player on Team Liquid stepped up throughout the series, but player of the series is going the way of Jensen today. In the face of wrist injuries, they did not seem to affect at least his Akali play for sure.
No solo queue for 3 weeks. I mean, you would have fooled me because he looked so on point. I guess we're going to just have a little highlight reel of all his accolades. Wrist injury, by the way.
I mean, it was a hard series, though. He had some games where he was definitely...
Yeah, it was a hard series. You see that?
I mean, he had the Valve forward. He had some mistakes in Game 4 as well. But in the wins, he was super important. Even in the Game 2 loss, he was also one of the few people on Team Liquid stepping up. It was a hard-fought series, which means there's always going to be bad plays for anyone. So you can point to one and be like, oh, look at that. But he actually, I think, played the best.
Without a doubt, one of the strongest mid laners out there, first all-pro team, but of course that was very contentious alongside Nisqy, and so again, spotlight on that mid lane matchup when we head to the finals. Even love hearing from him as well. Nobody wants to go against FLICKR and Nisqy. That is such a terrifying duo. You've had to jungle against that duo. Talk to me about it.
It doesn't feel nice. Like, they actually are so good at playing on mid priors. It's not even like that they actually make plays on mid that much. It's more about like how they use the fact that they have so much pressure. And you almost expect like Svenskeren to always be there, so you're afraid. Am I going to make a play? Should I make a play? No, you can't be there, and you don't really pull through simply because he could be around.
Should be an exciting matchup to watch.
I mean, besides that, the champion pool of Nisqy, right? Just all the non-Corkies here, just a lot of assassins, a lot of bruisers, and on the flip side, I think Jensen showed that he had a very similar style with the 3 games of Akali. I think that shows us that there is a little bit of a contention for these bruisers in the mid lane for that series. So it's going to be a lot about the counter picks and execution, and 2v2 junglers play such a big role when you pick these champions.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy to see that meta trend coming in. Like, especially with Nisqy and Jensen, they're actually really mechanically good players. And seeing them waste away on Corki Azir, Musander, I don't want to see in the finals.
Whoa, Azir's hard.
Waste away.
So I want to see like some Akali, I want to say IVLM matchups, and hopefully a bit less Sejuani, but I think that's going to come in too.
Jensen, you're only allowed to play Corki in Game 5 of the finals.
But only with
Sonateric. Exactly. All right, well, with the finals weekend, all that's left for the Summer Split, let's take one final look at the road to Detroit, presented by Rocket Mortgage. Team Liquid were pushed to 5 games, but earned their spot in the title match. They'll face off against Cloud9 for the LCS Championship, while Clutch Gaming and Counterlogic Gaming, they'll square off the day before in that all-important 3rd place match as well. First, let's talk 3rd place, Clutch versus Counterlogic Gaming. Mark, you already hit kind of the higher level beats of that, which is that both of these teams do feel like similar versions of the squads, that each other had to play against. And so Clutch should actually feel very good going into that series with how closely they played against Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, like, they're playing again tomorrow, who wins? I would probably say Clutch. They do have a week to prepare for CLG and fix some of the problems that they had. Game 4 was closer for CLG. They had a really slow start in the series. But, yeah, just looking how good Clutch is, I would have to favor Clutch.
They took Team Liquid to Game 5.
Yeah.
CLG got basically almost 3-0'd, so I think that you do have to favor Clutch in that as well.
I actually think that CLG with a week of prep is going to be a lot better. And I think they're actually going to beat Clutch. I don't think it's going to be as close, actually. I think it's going to be like 3-1, 3-0.
Oh, do you think that because CLG has the advantage of watching this series, do you think they glean a lot from watching, this in the previous series against TSM for Clutch?
Yeah, I do feel so. I think CLG is a really smart team, and throughout the split, I've been actually quite impressed by them. So I do think that with a week of prep, and especially with the way that they play similar to TL, I think they're going to actually be able to use the bot priors matchups, especially for Six and Bioforce, who are really good at playing these range kind of counter picks. And I think that's going to catapult them into victory.
Yeah, what a task for Cody, Sun, and Vulcan. They got to go up against the first all-pro bot lane and the second all-pro bot lane in their 3rd place matchup. I do want to flip the script, though, and talk about our finals best of 5. Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Cloud9 happy to be getting back to a finals and looking to grab a title for the first time in 5 years. But really, the big story is TL looking for the 4-peat. And beyond that, let's talk about Doublelift and his success in the postseason in the LCS.
I mean, what's the stat? He hasn't lost a...
Doublelift has not lost a playoff or a postseason best of 5, because we're including relegations as well, since 2016 spring against CLG. That is 13 best of 5s in a row domestically that he has won outright.
Lucky 13.
Close to 4 years.
Oh,
without-
14 counting today. So let me correct myself and heading into number 15 next week.
4 years in a row almost without dropping a best of 5 in North America is insane. And so you kind of have to feel like when you have that behind you, you're probably the favorite.
History is on his side.
But that said, I do actually think C9 has a very good avenue to beat Team Liquid looking forward. I think they are substantially better than Clutch, who had a great showing and almost beat Team Liquid. So I'm a little concerned for Team Liquid moving forward. I think they have to nail down some of the problems that they're running into this game.
I think it's the style thing that you're mentioning because Cloud9 is even less hesitant than Clutch Gaming when it comes to taking these fights. I mean, they will look to take anything that they can get from you. And it showed today that Team Liquid was not prepared for that. Now, it might be that they were not prepared in their, because they said that they did not have the expectation that Clutch Gaming was going to push them so far. So maybe against Cloud9, they'll do a little bit better job preparing to be met with that much attention early. But with that being said, I think Cloud9 comes into the favorite.
I mean, they have the experience of a very tough best of 5 just last spring, having to claw it back in the reverse sweep against TSM. But again, when we talk about Team Liquid and looking for this 4-peat, I do think pressure is something that has to re-enter the conversation. I know that all of these guys have tons of experience in postseason and even on international stages, but there's another element when you start talking history, making history. Hitting the 3-peat was something that had been done before. Hitting the 4-peat, something that has not. And so I do believe that that has to be something that is in their minds to some degree looking towards this next week of play.
But I gotta figure the pressure's more on C9, actually. I mean, Team Liquid, the 4-peat is historically great, but they've shown, we bounce back in best of 5s. We make sure we don't get, swept out of a series in spring, and now, this back and forth one here. C9 hasn't won in 5 years. A lot of those guys are hungry to get back on top. And so I think that might put more pressure on them. We have to reprove ourselves, but who knows?
I still think there's more pressure on Team Liquid. I mean, just knowing that the team has put so much money and effort behind making this work. Right? They have a jet. Right?
Well, no, they don't actually. To be clear,
that's a Photoshop.
To be clear, that was a photo. That was a Photoshop, Crow.
Okay.
All right.
Let me rephrase my argument then. Okay. Well, they have very good players.
Yes. Okay.
So
I accept that.
The expectations that come internally from their success, I think, are also greater because for Cloud9, you do have relatively younger and less experienced players coming into the organization. When you have Niski, when you have Licorice, I mean, they don't have the long time standing that you have some of these players with Team Liquid or even Team Liquid's history before on the Curse days. So I think that internally, Team Liquid has more pressure coming from the organization.
I agree. But I think actually that series is going to be more about the exhaustion that may actually be coming in for TL at this point. Because honestly, they've been playing for 2 years straight, right? Every single postseason has been done all the way. And I think at this point, they even in this series, they felt kind of tired. It felt like they were almost taking a step back where they were waiting for the other team to make some plays, try to answer them, but it was almost lethargic to a certain extent. So that's what I'm scared of, where C9, they're hungry. They're obviously younger players, and they have had the postseason's cut short, especially last time around.
And at the end of the day, I believe all of these things that were just spoken of do exist in that matchup. And it really comes down to how each of the individual 10 players can manage that pressure, those emotions, and those expectations. To hear from the other side of the rift, though, Avli is standing by with the Clutch mid laner.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Demonte right now. And I mean, this was a really close series for you guys. Really great performance coming out of Clutch Gaming. And I just want to ask about the moment right after the loss. We saw you comforting Huni and everyone just super emotional. So what was that like for you and what was going through everyone's minds?
Well, obviously that game was very emotional. We took it to 5 games against a team that everyone thought we would get 3-0'd by. And I've been a teammate of Huni's now for 2 years straight, and I feel like he's just my big brother at this point. And all I ever want to do for him is make it to finals, win NA, because I know how much it means to him that he wants to get the title of NA LCS because he's gotten it in the other 2 regions that he's played in. And yeah, just really wanted to be there for him in that moment because I know if the tables were turned, he would be there for me.
Is there anything that you said to each other after you stepped off the stage or even while you were still on?
I mean, I kind of just told him that, if we think back to Spring Split, even beginning of Summer Split, literally no one thought Clutch Gaming would be at this point in as a team, and that we took Team Liquid to 5 games, and this team has just won NA 3 times in a row, and they're looking like the best team again. And yeah, I think he responded pretty well to that. I think he made a tweet right after the game too. He's definitely not super sad or like, I mean, obviously he's sad, right? But he's taking it well. And yeah, I think now is a great time for everyone kind of to get on Twitter and really tweet at Huni that you support him and that you're here for him, because it's something that he needs right now. And there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to go to Worlds this year. So yeah, I'm going to do it for Huni.
Do it for Huni. You heard it here. Go tweet at Huni. Go tweet at the rest of Clutch Gaming. Damonte, thank you so much for taking the time. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Avali. Thank you, Clutch Gaming, for putting on a show and for pushing Team Liquid in a way that, as Damonte said, nobody really expected them to do. I think the grit and resilience of that team has to be recognized. And it's not over. The season is not over. 1, they get to play for 3rd place. 2, they still have the opportunity to go represent North America at Worlds. And I think that this is a squad that has just excited me about that prospect. Yeah. They've just proven to me why it would be worthwhile and why I would want to cheer for them on the world stage.
Because it would be one of the first times we have a team that goes to Worlds that legitimately has their own flavor. They don't really abide by anybody else's rules. They have gotten this far playing their own style. And if they could go to represent an A, it would be a little bit more of a, well, what do we have to really show that's ours?
Yeah.
Well, and they proved so much during this playoff run so far already, where, we're talking, you heard Jensen saying, like, oh, Damonte is the worst mid left in playoffs. Well, like, he did great this series. He actually had some pretty...
If that's the worst.
Yeah, you know what? Like, you got to be worried if you're in Gauntlet, because Damonte is not this, like, North American mid laner who you're going to walk all over because you have a European mid laner. Like, he's actually really good, and he's proven it now in the playoffs.
And especially this iteration of the roster has not been together for that long. So if they actually go to a Korean bootcamp, go to a European bootcamp, I wonder what their potential actually is.
I mean, I love that you said that, because just before this, you were talking about how TL has been together for 2 years straight, and you contrast that to where Clutch Gaming has found themselves in such a short period of time. Again, excited for what this roster can become. That said, our reigning champions have done it once again. They move on to Detroit to compete in the finals. Look for that 4-peat and make history in the LCS. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Now for myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for the LCS Summer Finals in Detroit. Good night.
Like, silent fade. Just a fade.
Both going to Detroit, but who's playing for the trophy? This crap. Lyra's made the secure. Xmithie's in some danger. He's going to be stunned up. Lyra's taking very low. First blood over to Jensen. Team Liquid have a 1-for-0 so far, and now Damonte is going to be next on the menu.
Level 6 Akali.
Not quite yet. Oh, he goes.
Now they can just get Vulcan. He's going to get a kill, but I think they can close him out.
Another one to Akali.
Look, AD, that lost no flash. One
hit on Damonte. Unstoppable there. 5-point strike. Double kill for Jensen.
Okay, he's going for a skill matchup. I like this.
Jensen's nearly going to be taken down. Flash over the wall. The sun itself denies his escape. Jensen's out of the brush. Xmithie's out of the brush. Huni tries to flash away. Cody Sun still got plenty of HP. Oh, wow, what a shutdown. Lyra goes away, but it's a double over to Damonte.
Jake Bird. Rector gets stunned. And front. Rector is dead. Look for Baron after Killjoy first. Dexter's right. Two more.
A level 5 Skarner waddling into a losing lane. Won't matter. He's going for the kill.
Oh, there comes your dive, and Jensen gets the solo kill.
How can I help you?
Bro. Okay. Slowly.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Thank you, last.
I got 2 lives. Holy shit. I'm alive.
Cody Sun's grabbing the first. Jensen goes into stasis. Double Lift goes into the dirt.
Good job, guys. Like I said, if we win game 4, we're going to win game 5.
Play the Silver Scrapes.
Damonte fires off the empowered inner plane, but will not be able to secure anything. Vulcan is caught.
Target the flash. Have the flash, can he? I'm going. Oh, you cannot damage? Yeah. Oh, nice. Good. This is our immune condition. We have to be here. After storage. After step. Nice. Don't make it.
Rapid fire cannon. Huge for Jensen.
Jensen goes in really far. And he's killed. Flashing to the stun on Cody Stun. He's not going to grab it. Not anymore now. Vulcan is gone. It was a valiant effort by Clutch gaming, but Team Liquid show why they're the best team in North America.
No, guys. Why Sona?